Sid and the Unicorns of Unicorn Alley. Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a little street called Unicorn Alley. It wasn't home to any real unicorns, but to a group of extraordinary animals who called themselves the Unicorns. In a cozy office nestled in the middle of the alley, these animals shared adventures, laughter, and many fond memories. Among them was Sid, a border collie with a heart as big as the sky and a tail that wagged faster than a hummingbird's wings. Sid wasn't always from the city. He had come from the peaceful countryside, and at first the city seemed like a giant maze of noise and motion. But the unicorns quickly took him in, and Unicorn Alley became his second home. The first day. Sid's first day in the city was a whirlwind. As he nervously approached the office, he was met by Varys, a sleek lynx with tufted ears that seemed to twitch with every sound. Varys was perched on top of a filing cabinet, his eyes scanning the room as if on constant alert. "Hey, you're the new pup, right?" Varys said with a cool demeanor, though his tail flicked with barely contained excitement. Sid's tail wagged in response, even though his paws fidgeted nervously. Belle, a vibrant red fox with a bounce in her step, hopped over next. Her eyes sparkled with mischief as she nudged Sid playfully. "Welcome to the team, Sid. I'm Belle. And I can't wait to see you try to keep up with us." She giggled, her laugh so infectious that Sid couldn't help but join in, even though he hadn't yet caught the joke. Before Sid could respond, a golden retriever named Berry bounded over, nearly knocking over a stack of papers in his excitement. "Hey, buddy, ready to have some fun? Don't worry, we're all about good times here," he said with a wink, already planning their next adventure. Jean, a tiny chipmunk, peeked out from behind a computer screen. "Hi, Sid, I'm Jean. I hope you like it here. Everyone's really nice." Her enthusiasm was contagious, and Sid felt his nervousness melt away. Finally, a snowy owl named Lee glided gracefully from her perch, landing softly next to Sid. "Welcome, dear," she said in a voice as calming as a warm cup of tea. "You'll do just fine here. We're all family in Unicorn Alley."
Jokes, Jane's got the light. We stand together, ready for the fight. We're the unicorns, wild and free, racing through the city, just you and me. With a roar and a cheer, we're never apart. Unicorn Alley, where it all starts. Neon lights flashing through the night, dancing on rooftops, stars shining bright. Feet on the ground, but our hearts in the sky. Unicorn Alley, we're flying high. We're the unicorns, wild and free, racing through the city, just you and me. With a roar and a cheer, we're never apart. Unicorn Alley, where it all starts. Together we are, our hearts in tune. City's our playground under the moon. Laughing and living dreams come alive. And Unicorn Alley is where we thrive.
The Adventures of the Unicorns. The years flew by in a blur of fun and friendship. Sid soon found himself in the thick of the unicorns' many adventures. He'd often join Varys on daring escapades, whether climbing trees in the park or paddling down the river in a kayak. Varys was always up for a challenge, and Sid's quick reflexes saved them more than once from a tumble or two. Belle was the life of every office gathering, always dragging Sid into fun challenges or impromptu races down the hall. Sid learned quickly that trying to keep up with her was a fool's errand, but he didn't mind. Her laughter was worth every stumble. Barry, with his endless supply of jokes, was Sid's constant companion on travels around the city. They'd explore hidden cafes, get lost in strange neighborhoods, and laugh until their sides hurt, especially when Barry's jokes veered into territory that made Sid's ears turn pink. In quieter moments, Sid would often find himself in a thoughtful conversation with Jean, who loved to share stories about her latest discoveries. Whether it was a new book, a fascinating documentary, or just a curious fact she'd learned. Her wide-eyed wonder was something Sid always admired, and their talks left him feeling both inspired and content. But if there was one thing that never changed, it was Varys's playful teasing of Belle. Whether it was about her occasional clumsiness or just for the fun of it, Varys could always be found making Belle blush with a well-timed joke or a sly remark. And though Belle would roll her eyes and pretend to be annoyed, there was always a twinkle in her eye that suggested she wouldn't have it any other way. And through it all, Lee was the anchor of the group, her wisdom and care ensuring that everyone felt supported. She was always there with a kind word or a gentle nudge in the right direction when Sid felt unsure or overwhelmed. The decision. One day, Sid found himself at a crossroads. An opportunity had come up. A chance to travel beyond the city, to see the world, and experience new adventures. His heart leaped at the thought, but the idea of leaving his friends behind weighed heavily on him. Sid wandered through the office, watching his friends. Varys was deep in concentration, simplifying yet another process, his face stern but his tail betraying a slight twitch of sadness. Belle was laughing at something Varys had just teased her about, her usual cheerfulness just a bit forced. Barry lounged nearby, his usual grin faltering as he caught Sid's eye, quickly turning away to hide the moisture gathering in his own. Lee, the wise owl, was quietly observing it all, her wings gently folded as she looked at Sid with a knowing gaze. Sid knew what he had to do, but that didn't make it any easier.
In the quiet of the evening, under a setting sun, we gather here together, though the day's almost done. The time has come to say goodbye, but our hearts still hold on to the memories we've made and the bond that's grown so strong. Though you're walking out that door, in our hearts you're here forevermore. Unicorn Alley will always be a place for you where you're free. The days we spent together, the laughter and the tears, through every challenge, every joy, through all the passing years. Now it's time for you to go, to chase a brand new dream. But know that here in Unicorn Alley, you're part of our team. Though you're walking out that door, in our hearts you're here forevermore.
The farewell. The unicorns decided to throw Sid a farewell party. It was filled with laughter, stories, and more food than anyone could eat. As the party went on, it became increasingly clear that beneath the cheerful facade, each of them was struggling to keep their emotions in check. Varys handed Sid a sleek new backpack, perfect for all the adventures ahead. His voice was gruff as he spoke, but Sid could see the slight shimmer in his eyes. Belle gave Sid a tight hug, her usual cheerfulness tinged with a vulnerability that she was clearly trying to suppress. Barry gave Sid a playful nudge, his usual bravado faltering as he quickly wiped at his eyes when he thought no one was looking. Jean, usually so bubbly, handed Sid a small, intricately folded paper crane. "For luck," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Finally, Lee flew down to where Sid was standing, her feathers slightly trembling as she hugged him. "Remember, Sid," she said softly, "wherever you go, you'll always be one of us. Unicorn Alley will always be your home." Her voice, usually so steady, wavered just slightly, betraying the depth of her emotions. Sid's heart swelled with love and gratitude as he looked around at his friends, knowing that this wasn't really goodbye. It was just the start of a new adventure. As Sid walked out of the office for the last time, he looked back at the sign for Unicorn Alley. The rainbow was still there, shining brighter than ever. With a deep breath, Sid stepped forward, trying to ignore the tear that threatened to escape, ready to see what the world had in store for him.
As you step into the future with the world at your feet, know the love we have for you is pure and complete. In the quiet moments when the night is long, remember us and hear our song. The path ahead is waiting with stories yet untold, and though we're sad to see you leave, our hearts are brave and bold. For we know you'll find your way with strength and grace so true, and we'll be here cheering loud for all you're going to do. Though you're walking out that door, in our hearts you're here forevermore. Unicorn Alley will always be a place for you where you're free. With a final look and a tearful smile, we send you off on this new mile. Unicorn Alley, where you belong, forever in our hearts. Your journey carries on.